Welcome to self-discoverywisdom.com, formerly known as Self-Discovery Media. On these podcasts, you're going to hear people who speak from the heart. They've taken the journey in life. Many things have happened to them, but they've changed it to happening for them. And in their strength, their courage, they've discovered their abilities and their wisdom, and they are now sharing it here with you. Do enjoy each show. We bring it to you with love and knowing that it's going to help you on your journey of life. Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, everybody. Welcome back to another edition of For the Love of Music right here on selfdiscoverywisdom.com. I am your host, Sarah Troy. My wonderful guest today is Gene O. We're going to be talking about his new song, which is, Time for Change. I think if anybody listens to my shows, you know that we're constantly speaking about that. We are in an era, we've been in it for quite a while, where time for change is here. And if we want change, we've got to be the change. So, why has he produced this song? We're going to be finding out all about that today. But he says, gearing up for the release of Time for Change, the infectious, insightful, and timely debut song from Classic Twist, the fresh, grooving, and innovative multi genre duo he's formed with veteran writer producer Kevin Flournoy. Is that right, Flournoy?
Yes, yes.
A renowned R&B jazz singer-songwriter, Gino played the track for some industry movers and shakers in their home of Southern California. Their responses were auspicious. It reminded them of a modern version of We Are the World, and that's a beautiful song in itself. And if ever a planet needed hopeful and uplifting anthem right now to inspire us to look to our past through our differences and see that we are all beautiful, one spirit of love, it is now. So it is written by Gino and produced by Flournoy, and The Time for Change is an emphatic call to action that pointedly reflects on everything that we need to do to come together and achieve a better world. Our unique musical vibe, or over musical vibe, true to the fusion-driven spirit of classic twists, incorporates the elements of pop, R&B, country, and rock. He is passionate about the song. It's time that we leave our comfort zone. Yes, it is. It's time for you and I to rearrange things because everybody knows it's time for change. It's time to see the light. It's time to see what's right. So much love. And that's what we all should be thinking of. Absolutely beautiful words there. So, yes, oh my God, I'm saying it all the time. Time for change, time for change, time for change. You want change, be the change.
Yes.
Stop pointing fingers and going, their fault, their fault, their fault. Three fingers are
Yes.
pointing back at you.
Right.
Where's your
Right.
accountability? Where's your responsibility? What are you doing about it? If we want the change in the world, we've got to be the change in the world.
Yes.
Welcome to the show, Gino.
Yes. You said it. You said it exactly the way that I mean it.
I think people, are saturated. They're saturated with bombardment. There was COVID and now there's wars and now there's another war. And then you've got people going out with angst and hate and division and everybody's just saying, enough already.
Yes.
Calm
Yes.
down.
Yes. 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 The spirit that I've heard from your show is the spirit that I've always loved. I've loved, period. It doesn't matter who you are. I've always loved because I believe that love can overcome anything.
Hmm.
And so that was my biggest purpose from the time I was a child.
Yeah.
But when your spirit and listening to you and it was really cool. Yeah, I, I enjoyed it.
Thank you. As with your song I did, that's the reason why I wanted you on the air. We need to use whatever medium we can to get through to the heart and souls of people, to
Yeah.
reignite them into
Yes.
action so their minds can calm down and know what they need to know when they need to know it and let go of
Yeah.
all that they're carrying that is no longer serving them.
Right. And it's so funny and I think I believe after listening to you that you'll understand what I'm gonna say. The song was written for me. I was
Mm,
just the vessel in getting it
yeah.
out.
Yes.
I was sitting there and the song just came to me.
Mm,
It was a a 3 hour write.
Yeah.
I I love the music, and the lyrics just came to me
Yes.
because for me, the biggest part is one of the things that you said is the comfort zone.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of the stuff in my mind that's going on right now is stuff that's not even related, quote unquote, to us. It's
No.
things that we've heard or
Yeah.
things that we were told,
Yes.
as opposed to really experiencing what it is you want.
Mm-hmm.
Because you have to be the one to make the change. You can't expect for somebody else to make the change for you.
Right.
And so I figured if it was either me singing it, speaking about it, and I also have 3 books also.
Oh,
Uh,
beautiful. Yes.
and they are all based on the same thing. The one that's actually out now, and we'll get into that another time, but it's
Later in
called
the show.
Five Steps Black.
Mm-hmm.
And it's not, the reason that we're doing a modification on it right now is because it's not about what the title is really saying.
Mm-hmm.
It's really, if you take 5 steps in someone else's shoes,
Mm-hmm.
I don't care who they are,
Black,
you
white,
will
pink,
use.
polka dot, right? Doesn't matter.
That's it.
Just experience
Unless you
somebody
have,
else's experience.
yes, and unless you have done that, you can't understand what
No,
they've done.
no.
And that's the purpose of the book.
Mm-hmm.
And when I wrote the book, I heard you talking to someone earlier about. She said it took her 3 weeks, and for me, I sat down. I had never written a book before, but it was right during all of the craziness in 2020 and all of that, and I was so angry.
Mm.
And my wife said, "Why don't you write about it?" And I said, "Who am I going to write?" And she says, "Why don't you, put it down, write a book?"
Yes.
Never thought about writing a book.
Right.
And she said, "You just write it and we'll get it edited and so on and so forth." I sat down, it took me 6 weeks, and it ended up being too long. Actually, it was like 400 and some pages,
Right.
but it flowed out of me as if it was meant for me to do.
Oh, well, you were chosen to do it. That's why you channeled it out. Yes.
You use that word channel, and she
Yes.
uses that word all the time.
It's when you open up to the universal wisdom and you allow it to come through to you, it resonates
Okay.
your heart truth and it goes
Okay.
into your spiritual action. And
Well,
again, the
that
mind will know what it needs to know when it needs to know it. And that's
and that's and
downloading.
that's and that is what I have chosen
Mm,
or allowed myself to be in that place from now
right.
on. And
Beautiful, isn't it?
we it was scary because we sold our house in April and didn't have a plan or where we were going or any of that. And when she brought it up, I knew it was the right thing to do, but it was terrifying
Of course, of course, of course. The
because,
human security,
oh
right?
yes,
We want the human
yes,
security. The spirit says move,
yes,
but the human
yes,
security says, well, I want security.
exactly. And so we've traveled, we've stayed at friends' house and so on and so forth, and it's been beautiful.
Yeah.
Because I believe that, and I say our spirit, and you'll hear me talk about her a lot. I'm sorry, that's
No,
just
no, no.
she's
She's going to come on air too. So yeah, we're just going to keep the spirit going.
she has shown me so much to where I'm not going to say I was closed off to it. It was just that it wasn't something that I was used to. When you're talking about energy and waves and all of that kind of stuff, my thing is love. All that
Yeah.
other stuff I
Yeah.
didn't need to know about.
Yes.
I
Yes.
didn't think.
Hmm.
I didn't think. But I've now been open to understanding it a little more. And if I don't have to understand it, all I have to do is continue to believe in the universe.
Yes. And believe in yourself.
Well, that part was easy.
Good.
That part was easy.
But one of the big things that we have a problem with in the world is connection,
Yes,
right?
yes,
We don't
yes.
know how to connect to others because we're busy looking to find ourselves in others instead of connecting with ourselves.
Mm-hmm.
If we connect with ourselves and truly who we are and what my analogy is this is discovery of your instrument. You learn how to play it. You can play as a soloist, but you're so much better with an orchestra. Each person bringing their strength to the orchestra, but
Yeah.
playing in harmony
Yes.
that ascends,
Yes.
transcends everybody else.
Yes. That was, and it's weird that you put it that way, because that was the reason that I left R&B and jazz.
Hmm.
It's because I can connect with the R&B world all day.
Yes.
I wanted to connect with the comfort zone.
Yeah.
Is because I wanted to connect with country and rock.
Yeah.
And I even do a little bit of Italian and Spanish opera as well.
Wow. Great.
And so it's it was just different. I wanted to get away from what I had done since I
Yeah.
was a child in church.
You branched off.
I branched off.
Right. And this is another thing I talk about is that, look at ourselves as a tree. Through
Okay.
our years, we learn to root good, strong roots that are connecting out to other roots fiber optically underneath there. A good, strong trunk, which is our experience of life. But it supports all the branches that we have. And we're
Okay.
not meant to, a tree doesn't have one branch. It
Right.
has many branches. And those are all the beautiful chapters of your life. And you're not meant to be one branch. You're meant to experience other things. And then
Oh,
it's like, how can I bring all those things together that we can
yes.
dance in the wind together and
Yes.
create a rhythm, right?
Yes. Yes. And I'm loving talking to you. Truly, I'm like, it's like I'm learning and enjoying it at the same time. So
We're
it's
speaking
great
the
for me.
same language, but you're speaking it from a musician's point of view. I'm
Yes.
speaking it from a soul awakener's point of view, but it's all the same language and it's all based in one common thing: love.
Yes.
A word
Yes.
that is so abused and so overused in the wrong context.
Yes. 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 And I've always written love songs.
Hmm.
I didn't care if they were fast, slow. Where are you located?
I'm on Vancouver Island, BC, Canada.
Okay. Okay. So for me, my music has done so well overseas for 10 years, always in the top five.
Mm,
Everything has pretty much been about love, because I don't
yes,
believe in singing about anything else.
right.
And when I branched out, I'm using that word now. When
Yes.
when I branched out, it gave me an opportunity to spread what I
Yeah,
believe love is
yes.
globally.
Mm.
And love is a universal thing.
Oh,
It's just
absolutely.
that we put different colors on it,
Mm,
and that's the problem.
yeah,
Love is not a color,
no.
and so it's for me, where I'm at with love is just this thing that it's like glue. And if we could all use that same glue, we can
Mm.
use it in different ways, but it'll mean the same if we use it in the context of unity.
Yes. Oh, yes.
And that's what I want.
It's the heart and soul's music. It's the heart and soul's frequency. And scientists have actually measured people who are, quote, spiritual, woo woo woke, all this other words goes on. But those that choose to live in a higher elevation, and they've
Yes.
measured people scientifically, their frequency, and their frequency is up there in the hertz, 580 and up. And
Wow.
those people that are resonating on those good vibrations,
Uh-huh.
right, are
Uh-huh.
in a state of love. And you can't knowingly harm someone else. To do so is to harm yourself. Right now, it's becoming more understood, even scientifically. There are so many shows that I do on apparatus and machines and techniques that you can use that are all about the energy flow in your body and increasing that energy in your body so that you can elevate, right? But that's what music does. It
Yes.
elevates us. It
Yes.
lifts us up. It swells our heart. It opens our spirit, opens our minds. It embraces us with its arms,
Yes.
right? And
Yes.
it makes us feel at that heightened level of being loved. And after
Yes.
all, that is what we all want. If we could get out of our heads and this condition, they've got to be this, they've got to be that, I've got to be this, I've got to be expectations, expectations, expectations. What are they?
Yes.
They're dictations,
Yes.
and they're dictating everything that society deems you should be. Let's look at
Right.
society. It's dysfunctional.
Right. Right.
Where are
Right.
we looking at to who you are?
Mhm.
Why are we not embracing the beautiful flower that you are, ready to
Yes.
bloom?
Yes.
And then we will
Yes.
see, oh, a field of roses.
Yeah. Yeah. The title of the album is Gray.
Mm-hmm.
And the purpose for that is because if I believe, and it's my opinion of it, I believe if everyone was gray,
Mm-hmm.
then that would eliminate one section of what the issue is,
Right.
but a large section of it.
Yes. I mean, and quite honestly, let's look at that. Let's call it what it is. Black, white, yellow, pink, polka dot. That's, was a look. It
Mm-hmm.
really, that's just the casing you're coming in,
Yep.
right? And it's a
Yep.
culture that you grow up in, which is
Mm-hmm.
wonderful. I'm a
Mm-hmm.
white woman, blue, great head, blue eyes, right?
Right. Right.
Scottish background, Viking background. That's my
Right.
thing. But
Right.
I don't consider myself this white woman. That is the casing I'm in. What color
Mm-hmm.
is your heart? What
Yes.
color is your soul?
Yes.
Right? You may have a
Yes.
beautiful culture that goes with the color of who you are because that's where you were brought up. That's how you were
Right.
brought up. How
Right.
can that culture dance with other cultures?
Yes.
Right? It's why are we
Yes.
so stuck up? As I live with
Yeah.
a 90-year-old. And she goes, I don't understand. It's just a pigmentation of the skin.
Right.
Why do
Right.
people
Right.
get so upset about it?
Yeah. Yeah.
And
And
it's
it
time to
and
grow
it's
up.
true.
It
And
is
that's
time to grow
true.
up. Hmm.
That and so that's why when I was saying that, I said if I could take my message everywhere in the world and just give the message and spend time with the people
Yes.
as a people,
Yeah.
nothing else, as a people, the love that we would all get from that interaction, no matter how they perceived it, I would leave there the same amount of love that I had going in.
Or probably more.
Because I just believe that what Sharna and I are doing and what our purpose is here is to spread love.
That is what it's all about.
Yeah. Yeah.
I look at us, kind of, I'm a very cosmic child. It was really, really hard to be a human being amongst people that are still so tethered to hate, to greed,
Yes.
to
Yes.
opulence,
Yes.
which all comes from a place of insecurity, lack of connection, and lack of belonging, right?
Yes. Yes.
Uh, and it's like they're unwilling to do anything about it.
Yes.
I've interviewed people that have had some catastrophic things happen to them. No
Yeah.
human being should ever have gone through what they've gone through.
Right.
Who they chose to be today
That's right.
because they went through the healing
Yep.
and they redefined who they were, not
Mm-hmm.
not the victim. They were
Mm-hmm.
victimized, but they chose not to be the victim. And who they
Yes.
are today, of that beacon of light, that beacon of
Mm-hmm.
strength and courage,
Mm-hmm.
ability, resilience,
Mm-hmm.
is such an illumination. So
Yes.
I've literally, people that have taken themselves up from below the ground up,
Right.
right?
Right.
And you've got people out there, the universe gave me a saying some time ago. Somebody actually I interviewed that was a musician decided to put it into song, but I don't know whatever happened to it. But the universe said it's time for us to step up in order. Now, hang on, go back. I'm missing a link. Time for us to wake up, to step up, to change it up, to grow up vibrationally, but grow up, be the change that is needed in this world.
Mm-hmm.
And this is where we're at right now. Oh, shaken up. That's right. Sarah, what's wrong with you? It's Monday morning. It's shaken up. The world is shaking us up to wake up, to step up, to change it up, to grow up.
Yeah.
We've been shaken up with COVID. We've got wars now, and some people are still being shaken, but they're somehow the sillies haven't been shaken out of them.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
It's still stepping into the retaliation. It's their fault. It's everybody else's fault.
Mm-hmm.
And we can't always choose what happens to us,
Right.
but we can choose what we do with it. And
That is
sometimes we
correct.
need outside help to show someone there is a path out of this.
Yes.
You don't
Yes.
have to be here. This is not your lot in life. This is why I do the podcast. This is why you do the music. It is that hand that shows people there is a way out, right?
Yes.
You don't have to
Yes.
stay where you are. So
Yes.
we have a choice. Everybody is going to struggle. We've all had struggle. It's part of our
Mhm.
growth. But
Yes.
we don't have to suffer. That's a choice.
My mother told me when I was 15, she said, you're going to be a minister one day. And it used to irritate me because I thought she meant I was going to be preaching at a church.
Yes.
And I knew I didn't want to do that.
Right.
And when I got older and we had the discussion again, she says, now you understand what I mean. And I was like, no. And she says, because even in your music, the
Mm,
music I've played for others, et
mhm.
cetera, it touches people.
Yes.
So I said, if I can touch a soul
Hmm.
with what I've been gifted to do, I write songs every other day almost
Yeah.
because I love to write. And now that I'm on this mission, because
Mhm.
that's what it is for me, now that I'm on this journey, this mission, that's all I write about. Even more so about love. It's not about, because romantic love
Yes.
and
Yes.
all that. I mean, you that comes and goes anyway. But the soulful love,
Oh,
the that love is the message that I want people to get.
yes. Yeah.
So you were talking about people not dealing with people that, have hatred and all of
Yes.
that. I've had in my life, I've been really blessed. I didn't have a lot of hatred going on, but I've been angry before. I've
Mm.
been really angry. But in 2020 till now, I've been in pain because of what's going on.
Yeah.
A pain I had never experienced before watching this.
I know.
And so what I ask the universe is give me
Hmm.
the path, or give me the words, or give me, the signs of what I can do.
Yes.
Because as much as I try to follow what the path that my wife is on, that guides me to peace or love or whatever at a different level than I've experienced, I take that, but the universe, it kind of just says points, and it's like I know that that's where I'm supposed to be, even if it's uncomfortable,
Oh, yes. Yes. I mean,
and
yeah.
that's where I'm
Yeah.
at.
I think
That's
that,
where I'm at.
you've hit a chord there. Comfortable. People want to evolve to a higher level comfortably. Well,
Yes,
sometimes you've got to be uncomfortable to
yes,
get comfortable,
yes,
right?
yes,
And it's
yes,
it's they want to do it all like safely. Well, I don't really want to do it. It's just too uncomfortable,
yes,
and that's the
yes.
grow up part, right?
Right, right.
Sometimes you gotta wear spandex, it's uncomfortable.
Right. And that's the part that scared me. It scared me that I was so open to what was happening in my life. Um, I wanted to give up music several times.
Mhm.
Several. I was just done with the politics. I was
Yes,
done with the
yes,
the the stuff that's behind it. But when it was shown to me, you're doing this for a reason.
hmm This is your
You
mission.
have, and so I said, okay. And even when I get a little frustrated or whatever, and usually John will say, so what is it that you're upset about? Well, right now I don't want to talk about it. I just want to be upset.
Yeah,
So she'll give me, a little bit of time, and then she'll come back and she'll say, okay, so let's just discuss it, because this is not my husband right
right.
now.
Hmm.
And so let's talk about it. And talking through it,
Yes.
it's usually, it's not being upset with her.
No, no.
It's just, it's wanting, because my goal is now for her to never have to think about finance or work or anything. But it's not even really about the money. It's about the journey.
100%.
And the journey that we're on right now is a journey that I never expected, but I'm so excited about.
I know, isn't it nice?
I am excited about it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, taking a new journey. This whole thing is that by 30, you've got to have the house, the 2.2 kids, the career, all of that. I never ever got the 2.2 kids. I never did. Which half were you talking about?
Right.
But this whole, again, dictation, expectation of society, which we know is unobtainable, and that is not where the happiness lies. The
Yes.
happiness lies not in what you've got and who you are. It's not what you're doing, it's who you're being doing
Yes.
it. All right. And
Yes.
then when you are in your beingness, I am what I am. I love what I do. You know,
Yes.
um, I was at an event on Saturday for a friend's son who's 19, launching his own clothing line that he's been building and designing since he was 15. Fortunately, he has a mother who's very much an entrepreneur who has been guiding him on all the business side of it. And
Right.
I got to meet some people that I've interviewed, which I don't always get to meet face to face,
Right.
and some people
Right.
I'm going to be interviewing. But
Right.
somebody made a comment. oh, you're the same off air as you are on air. And why would I be different? Right?
Right,
Like, I'm sure
right.
when you're playing music and when you're singing, it's an expression of what you're wanting to go out, right? It's an expression of what the message is, it's expression of what the mission is. But you are the mission.
We talked about that this morning. It's because when Shauna said, when you go on and you have the conversation, just be you.
Exactly. I don't want anybody else, thank you.
just she says, and it may not be about the music. It may not be about your book. It's about who you are and
Yes.
what you have in your soul, what your gift is. Those are the things that people want to know.
What a wise
And
woman.
and if you're not gonna live it, then why are we doing this?
I know. That is the point, isn't it? How many people are doing but where's the passion? My son has a restaurant.
Okay.
When people walk out with a smile on their face and the stomach is smiling, he's happy, right?
Yes.
When he knows the staff are happy to work there, they're a part of the family, right? That they want
Yes.
to work there. They've left these big restaurants to come and
Yes.
work at his
Yes.
small place because they feel it's home. They feel they're a
Yes.
part of something. He's
Mhm.
happy. My
Yes.
daughter was at this event on Saturday. She's a mixologist. She designs drinks around events, people, or even vibrations,
Wow.
right? And so she designed drinks for that evening that kind of match the theme of the evening.
Awesome.
And my other daughter has two babies, so right now that's where she's at. But she
Yeah.
works with people with brain injury, and
Wow.
it is it is what is our passion,
Yeah.
because our passion will take us through any struggles, any hard times, right? I've been doing this 11 and a half years. And people say, well, how
I
do you
know
make
you I know you're interviewing me, but can I ask you a question?
Yes, yes.
I'm gonna switch it. I'm gonna interview you now.
Okay, I'm right here.
What made you get into this?
Okay, a weird story. I had come out of investing in a quantum electric motor, and it had been stolen from us. And I literally rug pulled from underneath me, virtually homeless, had no idea where I was going next. And I have to be a woman in purpose. If I'm not in purpose, I don't see the purpose of me.
Okay.
And I have a clinical illness and I suffer from depression because of it. And of course, at that transition, the depression came on, and I wrote an article on it. And I also have to be proactive. So I was online trying to help other people. Otherwise, again, I feel useless. And somebody saw the article and looked at my site because I'm also a true colors coach and a soul awakener. So it's how to reconnect your heart and soul. And she said, "Oh, I think you should be on my podcast." And I go, "What's a podcast?"
Right,
This
right.
is 2012. I had
Yeah,
no money to be on a
yeah.
podcast. I had to pay. Somebody put up the first month for me. I don't even know where the other money came from because I could hardly pay rent. I
Right.
did it for 13 months
Yeah,
and live,
yeah,
right? Great training ground. As you know,
yeah.
playing live gigs, great training ground to fine out your instrument. And then I started my own network. And even doing that, I didn't know what I was doing because I'm not tech savvy.
Yeah.
And in 5 years, just did audio. And then somebody said, "Sorry, you've got to do videos." My first reaction, who wants to see this old bag? And then the back of
Right.
my head, a voice slapped me and said, "It's not about you. It's about the person you're
Right.
interviewing."
Right.
And so now it's almost 10 and a half years with my own network,
Wow.
over 3,000 shows. And we've gone into podcast books. I've got my book coming out beginning in December, and I have an anthology book coming. I've already did an ebook anthology book back in 2017, but I have
Yeah.
another one coming out on our Forgotten Children series and all about
Wow.
how we're letting our children down. And there'll be two books every year from now on. So the podcast summers, and next year there'll be educational platforms coming out as well on people I've interviewed, then question and answer period with them. So yes, I'm branching out. So
That is awesome. It's just I adore your energy. That I'm sorry, it's just the truth. And
thank
so
you.
that's why I ask questions,
Mhm,
in regards to what got you into this, because somebody had asked me about doing a podcast before.
mhm.
I'm not interested in that, quote unquote, but if it's meant for me to do, it'll happen.
Yes.
I think my wife should do a podcast, and I think she should write a book.
Yeah.
But but for me, the message for me, I need to touch. I need to
Yes.
be in a room where not only my energy
Hmm.
can touch you, but I that's why I like doing small shows. I've done big shows,
I
traveled
prefer
the
the
world, and
intimate talks, intimate
I
connections. Yes.
love the
Yes.
intimate
Yes.
connection.
Yeah.
And because I want everybody to feel they're getting the same attention.
But the energy is more encompassing when it's a big arena. You
Mhm.
know, I mean, yes, your Taylor Swifts and things like this. And she's
Yes,
coming to
yes,
Vancouver next year. Already all the hotels are sold
yes,
out. They're going, oh
yes.
my God, what are we going to do
Yeah.
with all these people? There's going to be riots. You know,
Right,
they're already
right,
freaked out.
right, right.
But um, but she, you know, it isn't about her just coming and all of a sudden sick, etc. It's the years that she's put in, the words that she said that resonated with people,
Yeah,
the vibration that she has shared with people.
yeah,
And let's face it, music is the fastest way to someone's heart and soul, the
yes,
fastest way to open up someone's mind
yeah, yeah,
because it comes in to you.
yeah,
You feel it. Whether when I'm suffering from depression, what do? I listen to music. And the
yeah.
one thing I learned, have you heard of galactic talk?
No, have you
Okay.
heard of Galactic Talk? Mm.
Some people call it something different. It's channeling talk, but it has no language, right? So it's speaking, you can call it gobbledygook if you like.
She's heard about it.
Right. So they're channeling kind of like almost nonsense that then the person can translate out to you. But what it's doing in the language, it's not speaking to the mind. It's speaking to the frequency and the vibration of who you are. And it can go in and recalibrate who you
Mm.
are. It can, because
Okay,
half the time we're off balance with our energy, it goes in and it recalibrates. And it's giving your internal self the message that you need that the mind doesn't need to know. The body
okay,
does, right? The mind will
okay,
know when it needs to know. What I found is music does the same thing.
okay.
Music's my therapy when I need it. Sometimes it's the words, sometimes it's just the music. It balances you out. It brings you into a beautiful rhythm. It gets
Yeah,
you back into sync, back into flow, and whatever
yeah,
had you has unwound you and elongated you. And
yeah.
you can feel the music for every pore of you. That's the gift of music.
Well, when I time for change, when I wrote it, I woke up one night like 2 a.m. and
Best
it just
time.
came to me.
Nighttime's the
And
best time for creativity.
went in there, and when I came out in the morning and I let Shauna hear it, and she's like, babe, this is the song.
Yeah.
We got to, get this one mixed and blah blah blah.
Mm.
And we let some people we were staying with in San Diego hear it, and they were like, no, when are you gonna release this? Well, it hadn't even been mixed, it was just written. I just did another one just like it, same kind of concept,
Mm-hmm.
called Trying Times. And I played it
Apropos.
and I played it for Tom, and Tom said, okay, you're making this difficult because this one is just as good as the other one. It's just different.
Right. The other
Um,
side, the flip side of the
it's
song.
the flip side of it, and
Yeah.
that's another one that's going to be released. That I'll, if my wife lets me, I'll send that one to you to hear.
Yes, 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 yes.
It's not out yet. It's going to go on the album, but I'll let you be the first to hear it.
Thank you so much. Can't wait. But again, I mean, you're compelled to speak to the times. You're
I am.
compelled, you're the messenger. You
Yes.
know, when you download the song, like you've downloaded the books,
Mhm.
the instrument that's been chosen for you is through music,
Mhm.
right? Through words. Now,
Mhm.
I don't know what comes first for you. Does the music come first or do the words come first?
It's weird. Is because I can write a song with no music
Yeah.
and know what music I need
Yes.
with it. But a lot of times, because people send me songs to write,
Mm-hmm.
or I'll hear a song that I've heard before and I love the music,
Mm-hmm.
and I can write to that.
Right.
So it really, but for me, it's the words. The
Yeah.
words are the ones that, because if I can come up with the idea, it's just like when I write books.
Mm-hmm.
It's like turning on Hallmark Channel is my favorite. Period. So when I watch a Hallmark movie and you turn on the television, you watch it all the way until the end.
Mm-hmm.
That's how I write a book.
Mm-hmm.
I start writing and I can visually see what I'm writing,
Mm-hmm. Yes,
which can
yes.
be a problem because like Shauna would tell me is you can see it, but the reader has to be able to see what you
You're
see.
seeing. Yes, yes.
And that's the hard part for me. So it's better now because we have people that, do the editing and that I've now been working with. So they say, okay, I know where he wanted to go.
Right.
you know.
Yeah.
So that was the hard part for me because I just write.
So basically, you're the script writer, and you need the director that knows how to take your vision and put
Yes.
it into something else, right?
Yes.
Yeah, I'm a
Yes.
visualer.
Okay.
So I have a movie going on in my head all day long, and especially at night,
Yes.
and I get stuck on what the person's wearing. Is the sunlight out? Is this, that? It's the whole thing, the
Mm-hmm.
whole tutti frutti going on in my head the whole time.
Mm-hmm.
But it's not always, transcribed out the way it does.
Is it
But
hard for you to is it hard for you to shut it off?
the only way I can shut it off is if I'm listening to something or watching TV, and then it's in the background, but it is always there. I wrote my book in 3 weeks. That's maybe where you heard that.
Okay.
Right.
Okay.
So I wrote it in 3 weeks, but it took me a year to get around to the editing and finishing, which
Got it.
actually it's with the people who are converting it into an ebook right now, and it will be up beginning of December. And
Got
then
it.
I'll go into the paperback and all of that, but it's up and out. I'm doing this anthology right now. So that's where my next chat thing is. But yes, for me, I have this event which your wife would absolutely love. It's the 8th of every month, and it's step up, stand up, and speak out. And it's 12 wonderful women that come on every month, is sharing their stories. And I've interviewed so many people from there. I'm part of the promoting thing of it, so I'll send the link. It's absolutely wonderful, and they can find it on my events page on selfdiscoverywisdom.com. And I'm one of the promoters for it, but she also just comes to me, Sarah, what do you think?
Right. Right.
Out of the blue,
Mm-hmm.
kind of fill a gap between speakers. And I never know what I'm saying.
Yeah.
And I was called on twice this last week, and I met people at this event that had heard me. And when you said this, and I said, what did I say? I know the first one was about passion, and the second one was about chapters of our life, but I can't remember anything else
Right.
because
Right.
I'm in the now. I'm in that energy. And it's like you said, it's spent.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's spent. The words are out there, right? What people do with those words. And like
Yeah.
for you, where the words then come with the music and where it goes next,
Mm-hmm.
right? Is
Mm-hmm.
it's setting it free,
Yeah.
right? And not
My my problem is I can't shut it off.
no, I can't. I have to put something
I
else in
just
place of it. Yeah,
I
yeah.
if I've either started on a song or another book, like we just finished a children's book that we're in the process of getting it edited,
Hmm.
is called The Sandbox,
Ah,
and it's talking about when we were kids, we just wanted to get in and play with anybody that was in the sandbox.
yes, exactly. My little
It
grandson
was
is the same way.
see, and it was when we got when adults started saying, "Well, you can't play with him because he's got a runny nose," or
Yeah,
because it had nothing to do with the love of a child.
no.
And that's what we've gotten away from.
Hmm.
I'm gonna continue to be that child that loves to get in the sandbox. I don't care if you got the flu, COVID, or whatever. I just want to be in that sandbox, loving everybody that's in it.
Right. Playing
Yeah.
together, playing
Yes.
together.
Yeah.
Right. I
And
mean, we've divided ourselves so much. COVID divided us even more, but we've
yes.
divided ourselves so much, out of fear.
Yes.
And I say it takes a village to raise a child. It takes our village is only as strong as everybody's participation, and
Yes.
everybody has a role to play, including the village idiot,
Yeah.
right? Right?
right. Right.
And it is what's our role in our village?
Yeah.
What is our village? And
Yeah.
how are we supporting our village?
Yeah.
And I'm not meant to be the butcher or the candle maker. I'm the
Right.
storyteller. You're the
Right.
musician.
Yeah.
But that's all equally important.
Yes.
So, what is our role in life? What is our meaningful purpose? You can't get away from yours,
Right.
right? Whether it's the words in a song or the words in a book, those
Yeah.
words have to come out,
Yes.
right? So
Yes.
that's the important thing is what is our instrument and
Yeah.
how can it be our meaningful purpose that can assist other people on their journey of life?
That's why for me, as much as when COVID stopped, because I was actually supposed to tour in Canada and then we were going to the UK, which I really want to still do. Um, but when I was at the point of just saying, I just wanted to write. I just wanted to write books. I didn't want to do music anymore. But what I realized is more people listen to music
Mm-hmm.
than that read.
Yes, I know.
And so I was thinking, a song like Time for Change, or one of my other songs that are going towards this new classic twist, because classic twist is actually the name that I'm putting behind it.
Mm.
We're going back and forth with, do you add Gino to it, classic twist featuring or whatever. And it, Thomas saying one thing, Shauna saying another, because they want my name in there, but it's not about the name, it's about a message for me.
Yeah, but that the name is then synonymous of what your message is. So classic twist Gino
No, okay.
is knowing that that is the message from Gino.
You're not helping right now. Just wanted you to know you're not helping right
No,
now.
but you gotta have your identity in there. You know,
Okay.
for the class, for the fans of Gino, they want to
Okay.
know what's your next evolution. And for the classic twist, which you're taking the old classic and twisting it around to something that is for today, but it's done by Gino, and that just shows Gino on his many branches is producing a new branch
This is a
and
time that I
taking the
wish
wisdom from the past, you know.
this is a moment that I wish that my wife was in the kitchen having coffee.
Sorry.
But okay,
Put your name
okay.
out there. Put your name out there. I get
And
dumped on all
and
the
I do.
time of that. Yeah. Yeah. I
And
don't
I
let
do.
you. Yeah.
I understand. I understand. And what you said makes sense too.
It could be
I
Gino's
just
classic twist, actually. I think Gino's classic twist is
oh,
better.
that's the one. That's the one she said.
Yes, yes, yes. Right? Yes, I
Okay.
agree.
Oh my goodness. I'm gonna mute you. Mute you.
You can't
Something
fight
going
it,
on here.
darling. You can't fight it.
Oh my god. Yeah, that's the one. That's the one she's stuck on.
Yes,
She wants
I
to
like
do
that
that.
one because it's you and your classic twist.
Okay.
Right? That's it.
Okay.
That's as simple of you're taking the classics and you're twisting it to something.
Yes.
The
Yeah.
old beautiful meaning and circumference of music, and you're
Yeah.
twisting it into something that speaks to today.
Yes.
And
Yes.
Gino's doing that. So Gino's classic twist, yes.
That's what we're doing.
Good. Glad to hear
That is what we're
it.
doing.
And I'm sure, just in listening to you, that your words in your book are very much rhythmic like your songs. And that I'm sure if somebody read your books, even the children's book, and listened to your songs, they would see a synchronicity weaving through all of it. It doesn't
Hmm.
matter if it's a different story,
Hmm.
right? But the rhythm of the books would match the rhythm of the song and vice versa, because I
Yeah.
think that's you're a rhythmical person.
Yeah. Yeah. The trilogy that I'm on my last of the three um is more of women empowerment for women.
Good. Thank you.
That's 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 what this one is about. Is giving strength and love, and there's a unity in there between one woman and another. They're both giving each other a different type of power.
Hmm.
One is strength because the one is weak as far as she's just very naive and so on
Hmm.
and so forth. But then we have another side of it. The strong one is too strong.
Right.
And so Julia, who is the main one of the main characters, is showing her how to soften and be and give love without it saying you're weak.
Right.
And they build this
Since yeah,
relationship that's amazing.
this you see, I'm so glad you're doing this because a lot of people perceive to be loving is to be submissive or to be weak, and that you gotta be strong and forceful and all of that, and you can't be loving because if you do so it shows a weak. Who wrote that? Who dictated that? Right? Or
Right.
you clearly had a mama that didn't know how to love, right? You know,
Right.
because love
Right.
is strength itself, and
Yeah.
you can have a beautiful force behind your love, but we
Yes.
also can love too much and be too
Yeah.
forceful with that love. So everything is about the balance. So I'm so
Hmm.
glad that you're writing it from that perspective because, yes, I mean, some women's the strength, men as well, that strength, that almost forcefulness, if they do it lovingly, caringly, and supportively,
Hmm.
is actually something can then lift people up to higher elevations.
Hmm.
Whereas some people's love is too soft and too quiet, and it has its moments where people
Hmm.
need the tranquility, they
Hmm.
need the time out where they need to heal, and then
Right,
that love becomes their strength. So each love has its purpose,
right,
but it's
right,
also again about where does it belong at what time and where's the balance.
right. And I think because my mom pretty much raised three boys in a not so good area of San Francisco.
I feel for her.
And then we moved out of there when I was 11. And we moved out and moved into a more diverse area, which was awesome. Um, but but my mom is so strong and so, it's like when I met Shauna and she was just so nurturing and loving, I was like, I don't know. I don't know. This is too different for me, you know.
Yeah, where's the
But
backhand?
right, and we've been together now 20 years. 20
Mm.
years this month.
Bravo.
We've been together 20 years, and it softened me.
Yes.
It softened me, and I don't feel weak because I
Right.
still have my opinion,
Yes,
you know.
exactly. It's
But
respectful differences, right?
yes,
And that's, I think, the thing is you can have an opinion. It's your
yeah,
perspective. This
right,
is what I say to people, listen to a podcast and then have a podcast party or a
yeah,
gathering. Like you have a book club, have a podcast club. Everybody
yeah,
listen, take notes, and then talk about what you got out of it.
hmm,
And you will see so many different perspectives that you begin to see the whole,
yeah. And
right?
I had to learn. I had to learn. One of my goals was always to learn about women growing up.
Mm,
I wanted to learn how you function,
mm-hmm,
because for me, my love comes from having a single mom,
mm-hmm.
because she had to be mom, dad, disciplinarian, taking you to school, phone calls, helping you with your homework, and still
Yes.
working two jobs.
Wonder Woman. Mm-hmm,
Exactly.
mm-hmm.
And so for me, it was like I wanted to understand, because it's easy for, and I don't want to get killed by men, but it's easy for a man to say it's enough and walk away.
Mm-hmm.
For a woman who has had children
Mm-mm.
to just say, okay, well, I'm done. And it's sometimes, trust me, I know I put my mother through it.
Oh
Sometimes she
yeah, yeah.
wants to walk away.
My gray hairs have my children's names on it.
but but for a woman, she doesn't give herself that option,
No,
on for the most part. Now there are
right.
some that do,
Yeah,
but for the most part, a woman doesn't give herself that option of walking away and still handling the things she needs to handle at home.
yeah, yeah.
And that, I admired that so much, to where now a lot of the songs,
Mm,
when I write it in a book, it's always based on strengthening, because you don't have to just take anything,
yeah,
but you don't have to be so hard, which I'm working with our daughter. You don't have to be so hard to where if a guy makes a mistake, you say, I'm done, because he cut the steak the wrong way. I
right.
mean,
Exactly.
it's
Yeah.
ridiculous.
Yes.
And so that's what we're trying to work with her on. But I've gone through my ups and downs with relationships, et cetera, et cetera. This is both of our second marriage, and we approached it so differently,
Mm-hmm.
especially when it comes to, it's okay to agree to disagree.
Exactly.
Yeah,
Don't let it come in between.
exactly,
Right? It was just two
exactly.
different points of view, right? And
Yeah,
that's okay. And
yeah.
yet people get so hung up on that. Um, you triggered a thing with my son. My son took a path that I couldn't condone.
Mhm.
And I said, I love you. I'll never stop loving you, but I don't know like who you've become right now, and I can't be around you. And it was damn
Yeah,
hard to do that, to say,
yeah.
I can't be around you because I can't be around to see you take this path and potentially destroy yourself.
Yep.
And he got to a crossroads where if I
Hmm.
continue down that road, I probably will end up dead.
Hmm.
And instead, he said, I kept feeling your love
Hmm.
and knowing no matter what, you loved me.
Hmm.
Right? And I couldn't do that to you. And I took a
Hmm.
different path. And now he's a successful businessman. He's engaged to be married. I actually introduced him to his wife or to be. And
Awesome.
and he's highly respected in his community. right?
Yeah.
And because he turned around and made that choice coming from a
Yeah.
place of love. And
Yeah.
sometimes all we can do is just love,
Yes.
and they're not always going to hear you,
Yes.
right? But
Yes.
it's just that love there, because I don't know about you, when you try and tell your kids anything, you don't know nothing, right? You ain't been around the block, ma.
Never done it before.
We're somehow we reach an age where it's dumb as ditchwater. I don't know what it is. All right,
Right. Right.
but it's just that observation where it's like, okay, it's
Yeah.
zip it up.
Sean and I we went through that with our youngest, with our son too.
Mhm.
And it was
Yeah,
super hard.
yeah.
It almost emotionally took me out of here. It was just so emotionally draining. But you know, when I would get at my lowest period of just pain, um, and we talked through it, whether it was crying or whatever the case is. But now he's got a new girlfriend. They just celebrated yesterday their 1 year
Great,
anniversary, and
great.
she's amazing.
Hmm.
And he just sounds so much better, and loving it.
It's really hard to watch our children or our loved ones go through the rocky period, because, we always want to say, look, I went through that for you. You don't have to go through
Yes,
that.
yes, yes.
But I say, like, if they're not going to avoid the potholes,
No.
but if we can have them avoid the Grand Canyon,
Mm-hmm,
right? It's
mm-hmm,
just, can you learn something from it? And I think it goes back to, again, if they see the love in you for
mm-hmm.
them, or if, I mean, it was my kids that actually told me to divorce my husband. It was my kids that said, it's enough, mum.
Yeah,
And it was my kids that pushed me to write my book,
got it.
right? One of them has read it, the other's not as yet, but it's it was hard to write, especially when you're
Yeah,
writing around your children. But
yeah,
at the same time, they understood what I went through my divorce.
yeah,
But I let them down at that time because I was lost, right? And as a parent, you're always going, but only if I'd been there. But I was there as much as I could, because we've also got to understand we're also human. We're all facing our own rocky roads, right? And that
mm-hmm.
sometimes what you can show your kids is how you can come through them on the other side, who you
Yeah,
can become because of them. And then
yeah,
they look at that rocky road and go, how did she do it? How did she get to
yeah,
where she is today?
yeah.
Right. And that then becomes that beacon of hope and an example for them.
Well, I would have never known, I would have never believed if someone told me that about you. I wouldn't have believed it because you're just a beacon of joy. So I'm good.
It was something I had to find again, because it was quintessentially emotionally beaten out of me for a long time. But yes,
Yeah,
it's something that I made the effort to take that journey to find again. And that's the thing. I think that's what a song does, isn't it? It
yeah,
it
yeah,
lifts us back up. It
yeah.
reminds us of what's beautiful. When that song kind of hits you right here,
Yes,
right there,
yes,
right where the heart is, and I feel it. And
yeah,
that song was written for you.
yeah,
Even if it was written for a million people, it was written for you. And it's
yeah.
telling your story, and it's something where you can cry at or laugh at or lift up out of. And it's something that then becomes your message to, you know, to expand on. And I think that's what music does. It's so beautiful where it speaks to
Well,
everybody, but
what I would
individually.
say, what I would say to anybody who's into music, if you just want 5 minutes to enjoy who you are,
Mm,
listen to my music.
right.
That's it.
Yeah.
Because I'm
The mood changer, right? The mood changer.
it's gonna love you through it all.
Right. And
Yeah.
and that's, that's something we were talking about actually. It's the food that's just been churned out, and the
Mhm.
food that was poured in with love, right? You
Mhm.
know the book where you can feel it. You
Yes.
can feel the love coming out of it, the song where you can feel the love coming out of it. We are in dire need of knowing how to feel, because we're confused on how to feel.
Hmm.
Should I feel
Hmm.
anger and hate? Yes, Black Lives Matter, all lives matter. Why is Ukraine still at war? What about Putin?
Yes.
This, that, blah,
Yes.
blah, blah, blah,
Yes.
blah.
Yes.
And it's like, well, you're telling me that love is going to fix it all, but I do love, and nothing's ever happening, right? And it's like, okay, bring your circle down smaller,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Where is the love within your heart that
Yeah.
you are encompassing it, you are it, and it's radiating out of you? and then
Yes.
let it ripple and reach the people around you.
Yes.
Ignite it within them, let them ripple it out. Let
Right.
those other people be ignited and let that ripple out.
Right.
And as that
Right.
higher elevation of love
Yeah.
and solution
Yeah.
travels with us, it will eventually reach the people it needs to reach.
Hmm.
And those that it can't reach will go by the way of the dinosaurs.
Hmm. And you can't force
No,
anyone to feel it.
no.
If it's going to be felt, it's going to be felt, and if
Yes.
it's not, it's not. And it I believe, maybe I'm a little naive when it comes to it, but I do believe that everybody can, but it's a choice.
And it, the choice is, I don't care what you've been through. We've all had stuff. I
Yeah.
know it may have been a rocky road. And I know at some point you probably didn't like yourself or maybe even
Hmm.
hated yourself because of
Hmm.
things that you did or said or this or that. It's
Right.
time now to blank slate,
Hmm.
right? It's now time to write your song, write your words, write yourself a love letter
That's right.
as you would your best friend, as you would your
Hmm.
children. Write yourself a love letter and let
That's
that
right.
love back in for
Yeah.
you.
Yep.
And the big thing for a lot of people, especially when you reach my age, I'm 69. So for a lot of people, there's a lot of things that we want forgiveness for. I didn't know I was hurting you, or I should have raised you better, or I should have done this, I should have done that. Let's throw those shoulds out
Yeah.
because we can't do anything with them.
Right.
We did what we did at the time with the
Yeah.
knowledge we knew.
Yeah.
Now you know better, you can do better. Forgive yourself for all of those things,
Yeah.
right? And move on
Yeah.
into being more loving of yourself. Because when
Yeah.
you're loving of yourself, that ignites love in others.
That was really nice what you just said, is because when I was 50, I had a conversation with my mom, and I asked her, I said, you didn't support me in regards to, I I wanted to play pro basketball.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I sang, I ran track, and
Mm-hmm.
she just didn't come to any of that stuff.
Right.
But if I sang at church, she was there,
Mm-hmm.
you know. And she says, well, for her, she said, I worked two jobs.
Mm-hmm.
My sanctuary and the thing that gave me a sense of peace was when I did go to church.
Yes.
I was raising three boys
Mm-hmm.
and trying to make sure you guys weren't getting into the wrong stuff
Yes.
and doing all of these other things. I didn't have time to make sure I rubbed you on your back or patted you on the head, because that wasn't as important as making sure when I got home you weren't dead.
Oh, then the food on the table and a roof over your head, right?
All
Yes.
of that.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
so it was, I didn't understand it, and it was really painful for me,
Mm-hmm.
because what it did for me is it made me accomplish things that I would have never possibly done.
Right.
Getting a scholarship to play ball, doing music, whatever. But the thing was, is I always got to the level just so I could say, well, I told you I could do it, and then I would stop.
Yeah.
But it was like self-sabotage,
Exactly. Exactly.
because at the end of the day, I used her for an excuse not to finish going down the path.
Yeah.
As of now, that's why it was so easy for me to tell Shauna 50 times that I was done with music. And she's probably the only person that can say, no, you're not.
For now
Because
you are,
other
because
than,
you're writing books, right? But you can't stop the music when the music's in you.
yeah,
You
yeah,
can put it on pause
yes,
while your
yes,
creativity comes out somewhere else.
yeah,
But you can't stop being who you are,
no, you
right? And
can't.
it just means it wasn't about the song right now. It was still
Right,
about the words,
yes,
but the words had to take a different format,
yes, yes. and
different
and
rhythm.
and I mean, and I will say thank you, and it's not thank you for the interview, it's thank you for the meeting.
Mm.
Because this is not an interview to me. This is me just sitting down and having a conversation with
Yeah,
an amazing person. That's
I
just what
get
it
you.
is for me. And I'm not good, quote unquote, with interviews, because I'm just Gene. And when you start doing interviews, like I just did a function, a red carpet event in Hollywood, um, Friday, and everybody was, just so excited, whatever. I was there to do a show and do what I do,
Right.
and
It was
had a
work mode.
wonderful time. But when it was over, and everybody wanted to go to these big parties and all of this. I was ready to go to the house. I mean, go to my room because I had to fly out the next morning, and it was more important for me to get back to my wife
Yeah.
and my new puppy uh,
Oh,
than
puppy, where's the
anything else.
puppy?
The puppy is not a real puppy. He's a big guy, and he won't even leave the room. He's 3.
Oh, it's still a puppykins, right?
Hold on, wait. I'm gonna do it real quick. I'm gonna do it real quick. I have to.
Oh my goodness. Oh. I know. I'm when I get a house, I'm getting a dog. I gotta get a
Yes,
puppy again. I miss them so much. Yeah.
that's the.
Tool pure
And
love.
we're in Utah, and we're with some friends, and we're gonna be here for a little while, and fell in love with him.
Hmm.
And now when I go to bed, he goes to bed. When I go outside, he goes outside. I mean, it's just he's. We lost 2 dogs right before we moved.
Uh,
And I knew I wanted a dog, but I also know that what our journey is and what our mission is not going to allow for us to right now have one, because I don't know where we're going to be tomorrow,
right.
but I know that there's another mission for us, and wherever that mission calls us is where we'll be.
Well, you're kind of on a path that I've been on for a while. I when my dog and my cat died, I thought I'm no longer tied to a home. And
Yes.
so I wanted to spread wings and find out where I needed to be.
Mm-hmm.
And I went from Vancouver mainland up to Toronto, where my daughter lived at the time. I
Mm-hmm.
lasted 3 months, minus 36, wasn't for me. So I came over to Vancouver Island. I had 6 months elsewhere. And then I
Mm-hmm.
came here where I am now. And I was only going to be here temporarily, just, take a room.
Right.
And I've now been here 5.5 years, and I live with a 90-year-old who is extraordinary, extraordinary. She
Awesome.
can outrun
Awesome.
me. She still
Right. Right.
drives and cooks and just got
Right.
so much energy and joy. But I am about to move finally to get that home because I'm ready for my sanctuary again. I'm ready to have a pet again. But
Yeah.
sometimes we need to disconnect from everything that we've had and
Yeah.
allow our wings to spread and fly around a bit. I'm the traveling grandma. I'm perpetually in a case, going
Yeah.
to one kid to another. And I was
Mm-hmm.
just
Mm-hmm.
over in Vancouver for an event, came back late last night,
Yeah.
and it's okay. But at some point, we that calling for that sanctuary again, and
Mm-hmm.
that dog again.
Mm-hmm.
I have two beautiful grandsons, and that's the reason why I'll be moving. I'll be moving closer to be a part of them and
Got
help
it.
raise
Got it.
them. But
Yeah.
it is, I'm ready for that now. But
Okay.
my son, you're running away. You're chasing something. I said, no, I'm just allowing my journey to take a different path right now.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the thing is sometimes go with your instincts, right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
the song downloaded. Did you
Yeah.
order it? Maybe
Yeah.
subliminally, but
Right.
it
Right.
came when it was meant to come. The flip side
Yes.
of the record came when it meant to come. The books
Yes.
came when they were meant to be written. But most of the
Yes.
time, we're so busy dictating life that we don't realize that life is trying to happen to us, for us,
Yes. Yes.
right? And
Yeah.
because we're ordering the wrong thing, you know?
Yeah. Yeah.
Is I'm going to
Yeah.
manifest this car, this, that, and this good-looking man. Da, 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 da. No, you're not. Why don't you just send out to the universe of how you would like to feel,
Yeah.
how you would like to present yourself, how you would like your gift to be, and
Yeah.
who it impacts? Then get out of your own mind and allow it to come through.
Yeah.
That's what
That's
you've done with your music.
and those are the things that I've had to learn. Because the other part too is I got tired of running because I was never going anywhere. I was just running in a big circle. Because when there's a plan for you, when there's a mission for you, you can run fast, slow. It doesn't matter. You can't get away from
It
it.
will catch up. Always.
Yeah. So I just decided to say, okay, I'm tired of running.
Exactly. What am I meant to do? Okay, show me.
Yeah.
Show me. Do you know
Yes.
Joe Coleman from the Planters?
No. Who do I know from the planners? I did I won a adult version of uh Star Search, and one of the platters were there on the
On the
panel.
panel.
Yeah.
Right. I've had Joe Coleman on before, a wonderful soul. I've got him coming back again. And of course, just I had him with somebody else because one from the Drifters, one from the Planters, one from the Temptations have formed a group. right, which is really great.
Yeah.
And Joe is there, got him coming back on again. But it is, one of the things I love about musicians that have been in it a long time, as I said, you're in your heart, you're in your soul. You
Yeah.
can't be or anything else other than what you are. Your
Right.
truth is there. It
Yeah.
all it is how do I share this truth?
Yes.
In what format do I share this truth? Because you already know
Exactly.
the truth. A lot of people are chasing truth. You already
Yeah.
know what it is. And,
Yeah.
the beauty of musicians that have been working for a long time, and there's a difference between, the musician that suddenly reaches great heights, but the musicians that have been working 20, 30, 40 years,
Yeah.
right? And being able to sustain that beautiful love of
Yeah.
what they do and why they do it doesn't mean they don't have rocky roads, but they
Exactly.
sustain that from is
Exactly.
that it doesn't matter how old you are. When the
Right.
music's in you, the music has
Yeah.
to come out of you, whether
Right.
it's you singing it or giving the song to someone else.
Right.
Like
Right.
tomorrow, I
Right.
have a young man, very young man, who I think is about 18, 19,
Mhm.
coming on with his debut song.
Got
Right.
it.
See, he's at the beginning of his career. And so the
Yes.
wonderment of where he can go, and he's tried working jobs, and it's like, and you're like, Mom, I'm sorry, but there's music in me. And
Yeah.
that's the gift. Why are you
Yeah.
suppressing it? Go and get
Yeah.
a real job. What? Being a musician isn't a real job,
Right.
right?
Right. Right.
Yes, you've got to have a thick skin. You've got to
Yeah.
play the politics,
Yeah.
right? You've got to have that strength of, up to the next gig, up to the next gig,
Yeah.
it's great if you have a solid gig all the time, but that is very unreal in the music world,
Very unreal.
right? So
Not if you want to make a living from it. It's definitely unreal.
yeah, yeah.
But
So
what has helped me is Shauna basically is until we find the right person. She pretty much manages my calendar and all of that
mm,
kind of stuff and keeps me in line. Which is a job within itself, I'm sure, if you talk to
yes,
her. But it is not an easy road.
no,
Even when it seems easy to us when we're watching it,
hmm,
it's not an easy road.
no,
And so for when I just did an article for the Music Connection,
mm,
uh, called Artist to Artist, I think it was, uh, and it's just telling the younger generation, if you believe in what you're doing and it's truly what you're doing, not because someone else is doing it,
or
just
fame or
because you
fortune and ego, right? Yeah.
just because you like rap doesn't mean you're a rapper, because I've heard some that were awful.
Oh, I know.
you know or
Yes.
just because you love doing music and you have the money to go into the studio to do it doesn't mean you're going to make millions tomorrow.
No.
It's a road. and
Yes.
and and if you believe in it, stick to it. If
Yes.
that's what you believe in, I believe in, I was given a gift to spread a message.
Hmm.
And do I look at myself as a great singer or whatever? I look at somebody who can hold a tune.
Hmm.
I've done pretty well in it, and now it's about the message.
Yes.
Whatever else comes out of, when I sing it, if it doesn't sound good to me, I don't want it out there anyway.
Right.
But I love the message and what I'm trying to get out there, and I'll take my message anywhere and believe in my message.
That's the
And I can
thing.
get and I can get it across with my music. I can get it across with a piano. I can get it across with a guitar, which I just did Time for Change. I just did an acoustic version that is being mixed now that I'm really excited about because it's just guitar.
Mm.
Um, so that if I go somewhere and sing, it's not you got all of the synthesizers and all that other stuff. I want to just be able to sing to you.
Yeah. Yeah. Keep it raw. Right.
Yes,
Yes. Keep it
yes,
real.
yes.
But other than just, the being the musician, with some people, that's all they can do.
Mhm.
Some of them go on to be the teachers,
Yeah,
inspirers of other children in musicianship. But you're the writer. I mean, for you, yes, it comes out in the form of music, but it's all about the words.
yeah,
It's all about what's the message. As your mum
yes,
predicted, where you go, you're on a mission. You're a missionary. You're
yeah,
a
yeah,
preacher through the
yeah,
words. And I
yeah.
kind of don't like the word preacher because it always
I
feels
know.
like you're preaching to someone.
Yes,
It's a
yes.
motivator. I don't know. It's like I'd like to
Right.
say a different word in there. Inspirer, I think
Yeah,
I prefer
yeah,
to see, because I believe that inspiration begets invitation. And when
yeah,
you inspire someone, whether it's through spoken word, song word, written word, and you
yeah,
inspire them, the invitation is for them to
yeah,
rise up, to meet. up to a higher level in themselves, to see something within themselves. And if they've
Yeah.
already seen that, then to act on it. As
Yeah.
I say with these shows, listen, learn, and apply. Right? That's what it's all about. But these songs, both of them, are so needed right now. We are the change that we need. God, Lord knows, do we need change? And
Yes.
and it's given us all the opportunity to change. And so
Hmm.
many people are rising up. Then what do? You see the pushback. Wokeism. Well, please put that word away. It's spirituality. And every time you see a show, a TV thing, it's all about spirituality to do with cultism and the
Right.
devil, right?
Right.
This is somebody else's agenda. Ban books,
Right.
all of that type of thing. It's other people's fear. It's other
Yeah.
people's restriction. It's
Yeah.
other people's inability to be the love,
Yeah.
right? They're living out of fear and then trying to oppose that fear on you.
Right.
I
Right.
say
Right.
Fox News takes a pimple and makes it into a volcanic eruption, right?
Hmm.
But it wouldn't have an audience if you didn't turn on and you didn't buy it. So what is in us that needs this volcanic eruption?
Hmm.
And isn't
Hmm.
it time that we looked at that and thought, I'd like calmer waters. I would like things
Yes.
to be smoother. I'd like things to be in a soft rhythm. I'm
Yes.
tired of the screeching. And,
Yes.
we listen to the songs, we listen to Time for Change, and we listen to everything else that you've got there. We read the books, and we just go, yes, where is my accountability? Where's my responsibility for my own life? How can I be the solution?
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
we are all meant to be the solution. And it just means
Right.
we've got to participate. Right.
Yeah. Yeah. And you nailed it. I mean, I couldn't have said it any better. It's like I was almost banned from the TV during the what is it, the 2021. I was almost banned from the TV
Why?
because I was so angry with
Mm.
everything that was going on. And she told me, just stop watching TV. You're watching the
Yes.
news all day.
Yes.
And I wasn't a news person.
Yes.
I didn't get it because politics are still, in my opinion, that's all it is an opinion, or
Yes.
whose side you want to take or
It's
whatever.
mudslinging most of the time.
Because I
Yes.
don't, either side sometimes, when you
Yeah.
get into it, it's like everybody is out for self, and
Yes.
that's not who I am.
No.
But I got so wrapped up into it, and it was so ugly.
Yeah.
And she said, well, just stop watching unless you go watch something else.
Yeah.
You know. And that's when I decided to try writing a book. And it came out better than I thought.
Yeah.
And it
Isn't that nice when
inspired.
that happens?
It did.
Right? Like you go right and
Yeah.
go, did I write that?
Yeah. And then the second one is even better. And I told myself I wanted to write 7 books in the next 10 years. And I already have the outline for another 5.
Mm.
So I'm on track because I have 4, 5. I have 4 written already. So I'm on track. It's just right now the message in my music is so important,
Yes.
to where that's where my focus is.
Yeah. And
And
that
I'm excited.
that is we need that message. I mean, people are hungry for that message because I was in England celebrating my birthday with my brother and sister recently, and the very next day the Israel Gaza thing happened. And my sister is a news junkie.
Okay.
And she had both channels going, and if you switched off in one room, she'll come in and tell you everything that's happening.
Right.
And then I went with my brother for a week and a bit, which was really nice because he's an author. His spirituality comes out in his books and
Okay.
adventures and thrillers and things like that. And we're both. I'm a vegetarian, he's vegan, so we're both just in flow,
All
right?
right.
Really nice.
Right. Right.
Go back to my sister's, and she's been wound up the entire week, and she's so intense and so wound up. And
Mhm.
I said, I want our last day together to be no news, no mention. We're powerless to do anything other than send them white light and love.
Yeah.
That's all we can do, white light and love,
Yeah.
and hope that for the people that are being victimized, that they find their way back into love and help. And for the people that are sharing the hate, that some
Hmm.
form of reason penetrates them. But
Hmm.
otherwise, you're powerless. So
Yeah.
what's the point of getting so worked up?
Right.
And
Right.
and it's just let go because
Yeah.
you've become part of the volcano without realizing it, and it's
Yeah.
spilling over. And what is it doing? Just destroying everything around you. And it's
I became part of the volcano
yeah.
because I was furious.
Hmm.
But what could I do?
Exactly.
And yeah, I felt powerless.
Yeah.
It's like, so all you can do is just continue to love and be you, because you can't go out and make them see it different or do it different. You can pray for them or
Yeah.
whatever, but it's a choice they have to make.
It's a journey they have to be on. And at some point, they get to their own crossroads. What do I want to
Yeah,
feed? What do I want to
yeah,
seed? What do I want to
yeah,
water? And
right,
if you're still wanting to, seed the
yeah.
hate isn't for everything else out there. The hate is for yourself
You
that is
said
projecting
something.
out.
You said something else, and I can't remember exactly what it was, but it was basically that what's going on right now
Mhm.
has to happen right now. It has to.
Yes. Yes, because the universe said, wait, remember the proper terminology now. I'm going to shake you up to wake you up for you to step up and change it up and grow up vibrationally, but also
Yeah,
grow up as a human race and stop whining so much. You have an incredible planet. You have so much at your fingertips. You have so much resilience and incredible abilities.
yeah,
Step into them,
yeah,
right? Stop, leave the drama behind, leave the pain
yeah,
and the anguish behind. That's there to strengthen you,
yeah,
not
yeah,
to make you be destroyed or destroy someone else because of it. Hurt people,
yeah,
right?
yeah,
So well, be the love, because when you're in the love, you share the love,
yeah,
right?
yeah,
So we are still being shaken up, but
yeah,
I feel we're being shaken up just like a sieve.
yeah.
And those that aren't going to work are going to go through, and the rest of the flour we can make good bread with, right?
Right,
So,
right, right. Shauna used to say to me all the time is what we're going through right now, we have to go through
yes,
because we need this major
part
change right now.
part of the shake-up. Yes,
Yeah.
absolutely.
And
We
I
couldn't
just
go
was
on
like,
as
but
we were. Yeah,
I didn't want to see it that way, but it's
no,
a reality
it
because
is.
if we didn't go through this nonsense that we're going through right now, then the world would never change.
And change comes, unfortunately, through the shake-up. Change comes when you are forced to face something. You're
Yeah,
forced to make a choice in your life. And
yeah,
complacency is what people like to have, you
yeah,
know, uh, be complacent in who they are, why they are, and what their opinion is. But
yeah,
when their opinion is shaken up, why do you have that opinion?
yeah.
Well, because, well, no, that
Mhm.
doesn't work. Right? Have you
Right,
thought about
right.
what your opinion is?
Yeah, yeah,
How does it serve you or anyone else? And you actually ask them to deep dive into it, you
yeah,
realize it's just an excuse.
yeah.
It's not really an opinion. So we've got to stop making excuses for our existence and
Mhm.
step into the gift of life as it is.
Yes, yes. This has been so amazing,
Oh, it
really.
has been. Thank you. I want to know where people can get hold of your music. We're going to go out with your song, Time for Change.
Be,
So people get to
before
listen
you
to that.
be,
Mm.
before you do that, can I bring the missus over just so she can say hi?
Yes, please do.
And she'll give you that information because I always get it wrong.
Okay.
Oh, you sit down.
Hello.
Hello there. Hello. Of course, we're going to be doing an interview as well. So most certainly.
Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you
Um,
too.
his music right now is at Classic Twist Music on both Instagram and TikTok, and he's also on Facebook under that label and handle.
Right.
And then the website is The Classic Twist. So we'll
Excellent.
get you all that information for the show notes.
Wonderful. And the books can be found there as well?
The books are actually the initial book. We've only published the one, and it's on Amazon at the moment. We're
Right.
doing a rewrite of it, and the others are getting ready to be published. So we'll let you know as soon as those are available as well.
Great, because as they come out, I'll just add them to his show page and we'll just keep on
Wonderful.
going. All the music, everything, can we just keep on adding it? And that's what it's about. And yes, of course, we do want to have you on air as well with all the wisdom behind that. That's what partnership is about, though. Each one of you have your own gift, right? Each one of you, but you have found a beautiful way of melding it together and having it weave
Absolutely.
together, even though it may be two different streams, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's the purpose behind it that is the
Mm-hmm.
connection. And when you
Mm-hmm.
find that purpose, it doesn't matter what you do, you can link and you can
That's
strengthen
right.
each other. Hmm.
We are definitely the yin to the other's yang, and we've
Beautiful.
learned how to make that the beautiful part of us, not the part that is different. It's the part that holds us together.
Yes. And I think in any relationship, there's you and them, and you want them each other to be in your own strength. And then it's when you come together, and what strength are you together? It doesn't,
Exactly.
disintegrate the strength that you are individually, but it just becomes you're so much more,
That's right.
when you link together without losing your
Absolutely.
identity, which is important, which clearly you two have done, which is wonderful to see.
Thank you.
So we will be booking you in for sure. And Jean, I want to
Sounds good.
thank you so much for being on air with us. It's been fantastic having you here.
It has been truly a blessing and a gift. So much. Thank you so much.
My
Thank
pleasure.
you.
We're going to close out with your song. I encourage everybody to they can buy it from Facebook, Instagram, TikTok. They can buy it from there, or is it
Spotify,
right?
all of that. And then I think we have it.
Streaming.
It's on all streaming apps, but is it on our site now too, where they can download it also? It's on our site too.
Excellent. Wonderful. So please, support the artists, folks. Support the artists. This is a huge battle going on with artists where they just simply don't get the money they should have for their artistry. So please buy it and support not only what he's doing, but also share the song. Let it be your anthem. We are the change we seek. Time for change is so utterly needed right now. And this song couldn't be here at a better time. So thank you so much, Jean. It's been absolutely wonderful having you here.
Thank you.
Until next time, folks, please remember, if we want better days, we've got to contribute to the better days. So that means time for change within you so you can bring that change out. Until next time, bye for now.
Everybody knows that it's about that time for change. Yes. It's time we leave our comfort zone. It's time for you and I to rearrange things. 'Cause everybody knows it's time for changes. It's time we see the light. It's time we do what's right. Changes, but I can't do it on my own. I'm looking back on time when I thought everything was fine, but I was wrong. Now I'm willing to make that change. Would you do the same? We need to join together. 'Cause everybody knows it's time. Changes. You know it's time to do what's right. Let's turn on all the lights. It's time for changes. But I can't do it all alone. No. There is just one thing that we need. Much more love. That's what we all should be thinking of. Much more love. But I can't do it on my own. It's time for changes. Time to do things right. Turn on all the lights. It's time for changes. It's time to stop the fight. It starts with together.
We hope that you enjoyed the show. There are so many more for you here on selfdiscoverywisdom.com. Just go to the podcast tag at the top there and you will see all the many genres and all 3,000 shows ready for your listening. We are here to serve you, to help you on your journey of life, and we know that through inspiration it begets invitation. We are supported by you, the listeners, and those that we interview. Anything that you can spare us in donation would be greatly accepted, and we do hope that you enjoy the next show.